Awesome. So first off, welcome to Vancouver.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
It's good.
How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So just to start things off, so you first started out with your first recordings, and you recorded them in your dorm rooms and college campus, right?
Yeah.
So how did it feel going from that into a studio for this album?
I mean, it was amazing to have all of the, just like literally any sound that you could imagine making. There was equipment to make it with, so that was pretty awesome. Working with Jay was an absolute pleasure.
Any sounds that we couldn't make before, but we knew we wanted those sounds, he'd be like, oh, I know how to do this. And he could just make it.
Is there a song that he really helped shape on this record, I guess?
I really more than the songwriting, it was the soundscape.
Sounds, yeah.
Like, for instance, Matchbox was, I think, what they were working out the drums probably for 3 hours, and so we were all out of the studio except for Jess was in the booth, and we come back in, and he's got Jess's kick drum. Like, at the end of Jess's kick drum, there's a 15-foot cardboard tube leading into a microphone, leading into a pedal that's like altering it to like a G note that's then going through a speaker, like resonating the kick drum. So just kind of some mad scientist stuff.
Tuning the harmonic on the snare to a G as well.
Okay.
Little things like that.
So yeah.
Change the soundscape.
Cool. So how did it feel, I guess, going into a studio and working in a studio compared to, I guess, more of a homey feel?
I mean, it definitely felt homey, like, just to be in there, because just the vibe of all the guys and how welcoming they were. It was really laid back and easy, and we had friends come in and out of the studio, watching the process. So it felt like somebody had just taken where we normally would record in my room or a dorm, and like just blown it up to a church-sized proportion.
Some of the songs we recorded, we were like set up like on the stage area or like the pulpit of like the church, and then some songs we were all just like kind of chilling on couches in the main area, and it just kind of felt like a big living room.
Okay. So you said it was a church?
Yeah, church.
Okay. So what was that experience, having a church, I guess, be your studio space?
Really awesome natural reverb. That's the first thing. The Neon Cross Studio is just it's got its own energy, and I guess that kind of inspired the record itself. We just wanted to like capture what it felt like to be there.
Is there a song in particular that I guess was inspired by the space?
I mean, song sound, like the sound in Polite Company, was like we set up a bunch of room mics in the corners of the church, and like Sam was playing piano, and like piano was mic'd, but also the room, and you could hear us just like walking around, and like you could.
Yeah, they didn't actually know I was recording when we did that take, and everybody was just kind of, so at the end you can hear it when everybody's kind of rushing to get to their instruments, because it's like, hey, is everybody ready? And you can hear Charlie say, no, everybody is not ready. But yeah.
Okay. Cool. So what's been the biggest difference for you, I guess, lyrically writing for this album, Sam?
It's writing this album came off kind of a bit of a writer's block, and so writing for this album was a little bit more intense and also piecemealed than past records. It was as an effort to get over the writer's block and start writing lyrics again. I just started sort of stream of conscious piling as many words as I could onto a page, and which was sort of my practice to get back into the habit of writing lyrics, but also ended up forming the structure of a lot of the songs on the album, because I wrote all the lyrics and I was like, I forgot how to chop these down, so we're just going to go with the entire page of lyrics, and so it ended up, we made, several songs with no choruses and just, one entire flow, that couldn't be broken up any other way. So so yeah, it's been fun. I'm definitely looking back, curious to get back to a more traditional song structure, and feels like and to see what it's like to take the sort of almost meandering way that the album flows now. I'm curious to go back to traditional song structure and see how to incorporate that stylistically, like an evolving flow to, a more like contemporary songwriting,
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that a lot of the songs on this album in particular are a lot shorter than your first recordings. I guess what was an element going in with that? Was that just from a lyrical standpoint, or?
It was several things, but I would say a big part of it was Jay, right? I mean, like, we would have choruses, we would have repetitions, and Jay would be like, oh, no, just cut it off. Just like, that's where the song ends. You don't need to go back to anything, and so
I think it works because, like, most people in our generation, like, the longest video they'll watch in a day is 30 seconds, like with Instagram and whatnot, so works for that attention span.
Do you feel like that's, I guess, maybe put some constrictions on you as an artist, or?
No. I mean, I think if anything, it's like you got to listen to it again if you want to know what you really heard,
It's just we didn't want any extra stuff on the song that didn't need to be there.
No filler.
Yeah, no filler. We wanted it to be, straight and to the point. And
filler from me.
Yeah. If something didn't need to be repeated, we didn't want to, go back to a chorus or things like that.
Okay. And speaking from a writing standpoint, do you feel like the lyrics have been a little more honest with yourself on this album?
I've never thought that the previous ones weren't. I mean, it's always maybe a little more personal in the sense that I mean, I ventured to say things that I would not have said on previous records. The use of the male pronoun, him in Hyde, or he's, like, he's a better kisser. It took me years to get over that hump of, like, Elton John made songs for 30 years and never said it, and so to say it was a bit of a bridge. But overall, I mean, I tried to make any lyrics that I wrote, be open enough to where any one of us could resonate with it, and not, it's not like, oh, that's Sam's lyrics that I'm singing harmonies on top of. It's like, these are just words that, like, we could say and believe. Because for me, especially in a live performance context, to translate the lyrics honestly to a group of people, you have to have a group of people deliver it. And so if these guys aren't resonating with the lyrics and can't sing them, project them out honestly, then it's gonna fall flat.
The other thing about your writing style is wondering, you were a dance major, right?
I was, yeah.
Okay. Has that influenced the way that you write, or I guess the way that you guys even perform?
Definitely. I don't know about the way I write. I mean, I think dance is a great tool for life. I think we're all fond of it to a degree. Like, just we have fun dancing, on stage and elsewhere at other people's shows. As far as, I don't think it affected the lyrical content necessarily, except for direct references to it, like, Polite Company, or, like, definitely, maybe being a dance major or being a person who was interested in going into the field of dance, it definitely made me appreciate what we have here, and the ability to perform for a lot of people who really care about what you're doing, more so than I would have been able to, I think, because dancers, it's a hard life. It really is. It's a lot of travel for very little pay and a lot of work for very little acknowledgement of what you're doing. And so to do as little as we do, frankly, it just, I mean, like, as musicians do, and get as much credit and acknowledgement for that is it's amazing. Like, it makes you feel good. But yeah, so shouts out to dancers, I guess. Keep doing what you're doing. You change lives.
Has it influenced, I guess, maybe the sound rather than the writing for you guys?
I think it just affects the live show more than anything like that. Like we used to, when we first were performing, we would all just like stand there and play. And then we opened up for another band, and Sam saw how the front man moved around.
That's when I first started to get off stage. I don't think I ever stood there.
I don't think I ever stood there.
It moved around and danced more.
No, I mean, it definitely was like, it was the going to the crowd thing, and like covering it, but definitely was all over the stage. I mean, like, it's I think it affects the writing in the same way, like, I guess indirectly, because the live show affects the writing, because we write things that we want to play live, because we know that we have to come back to that, and that's probably the most enjoyable part about the whole process, is being able to write something and know that it's gonna work live, that an audience will get excited about it. So. But
the dancing really impacted our show, because I mean, before we had lights, we had the songs, and we had the dancing, and like that was it. Like, it was that punk rock kind of like selling it,
Is there I guess, so you mentioned that you opened up for an act that really inspired that, I guess.
Inspired a lot more of Sam's frontman antics. I would say. Definitely.
I mean, we played with this band called Genesis in Keller, and I don't think they're still active anymore. But their frontman Ryan, I remember going out for a cigarette after we opened, and then coming back and just seeing him off the stage in the crowd, just dancing with some people on the floor, and then like walk up on top of the bar and like take a shot, and then like walk down the bar. And I was just like, what is this? I don't know, but I like it, and just sort of that level of like no holds barred, entertain people however you can. Like, it's that stuck with me, definitely.
Okay, cool. So I also just wanted to talk a little bit about the album artwork for this, if you guys want to. So can you tell me a bit about who designed it, I guess?
Well,
It was Mark over at Atlantic.
Yeah, Mark Obrinsky. But, well, he had it sent off, and I think it's a South American artist. But to be honest, I don't know much about the artist itself. I know I sort of through this concept of having a room, some kind of space open up into a sort of a
different kind of space.
Yes.
Some kind of space into a different kind of space.
Like a tear in reality into something cosmic, and we just kind of threw ideas back and forth, and we're mostly looking at aesthetic. This is what came up.
Okay. Do you feel like it, I guess, for tying into the album itself, because you have a track called Mission to Mars, was that sort of what inspired, I guess, the space element?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the tie-in. I'm not sure. I think it's more symbolic than that in that it's more of, I guess, a metaphor for what music does, which is create a very otherworldly space very quickly and into a casual space. You know, it's like you put on headphones in your room and you're transported. Or you
It's like a creative medium that literally gets pulled out of outer space. You know, there's not other things you need, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, we'll end on that.
Okay, cool. What's next for Rainbow Kitten Surprise? What's next in 2018?
We're going to play a lot of shows.
We're going to make music.
And dance a little.
And dance a little bit. Ethan's going to dance more.
Yeah,
He
Ethan's going to dance
promises
more.
to dance
Yeah.
more.
I've been putting in the hours.
Boz is going to dance about, what you say, this
Little more.
little more, but
Are you going to
somewhat.
teach them?
Someone needs to.
Yeah, we need help.
I think we're all going to take dance classes together.
So we
That's what we agreed on that, right?
Yeah.
We're agreeing on that on camera.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sure.
okay.
agreed.
Yeah, that's the thing. So,
Cool. Well, thank you for your time.
yeah, sure.
Thank you.